For most athletes, one reckless move is enough to end a career. But Tiger Woods has spent 3 decades proving that if you're just good enough at the game, the world will keep forgiving you over and over, no matter what you do off the course. From extramarital scandals to run-ins with the law, Woods has a real talent for finding trouble, and an even greater talent for convincing everyone it was just a mistake.
I felt that I had worked hard my entire life and deserved to enjoy all the temptations around me. Thanks to money and fame, I didn't have to go far to find them.
But after his most recent incident, people aren't so sure that forgiveness is on the table this time around. And today, we're finding out why, what the people closest to him really saw, and whether the greatest golfer alive has finally run out of second chances. In 2009, Tiger Woods was in what many consider to be the peak of his career, chasing history with 14 major championships, which is just 4 behind the all-time record of 18, set by who many deem as the greatest golfer to ever play the game, Jack Nicklaus. And by every measure, he looked like a man who was going to break it. At the time, Tiger wasn't the most dominant golfer on the planet. He had transcended the sport entirely and was nothing short of a global icon. Billion-dollar companies like Nike, Gatorade, AT&T, Gillette, and many more weren't just sponsoring him, but were building campaigns around him. All that just to put his face on their products because being associated with Tiger Woods meant something. And the money reflected that. Tiger became the first athlete to surpass $1 billion in earnings, which is a number that, adjusted for inflation today, would be even more staggering. Essentially, Tiger wasn't just winning on the course, he was building an empire off of it. But behind all the trophies, the deals, and his carefully constructed image, there was something else quietly taking shape. Because while the world was watching Tiger Woods, the legend, no one was paying close enough attention to Tiger Woods, the man. And a good place to start is 2004, when Tiger Woods married Elin Nordegren, a former Swedish model who walked away from her own career to build a life and family with him. 5 years of marriage, 2 kids, and by all appearances, a picture-perfect partnership. Tiger made sure of that, as he would constantly sing her praises at every opportunity publicly, protecting his image of a devoted husband and father.
I have found a life partner, a best friend. Elin's been incredible for me. She's brought joy and balance in my life, and we love doing the same things. You think I'm competitive? Well, she's way more than me.
But that image was about to shatter completely when just 2 days after Thanksgiving in November 2009, the National Enquirer published a story claiming that Tiger Woods had been having an affair with a New York club hostess named Rachel Yucatel. At the time, a story like this was easy to dismiss, as this was obviously in an era where there was no social media and tabloids were notorious for fabricating scandals to sell copies. At first, Tiger's wife didn't take it seriously because, due to their status, they were no stranger to receiving shots from the media, and oftentimes, their claims were completely wrong. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case this time, as it would eventually be revealed in a leaked voicemail that he was indeed cheating, as he would be caught trying to cover his tracks with his other side piece, Jamie Jungers. However, things would get worse for Tiger on Thanksgiving night when he was knocked out cold from a sleeping pill. His wife Aline found herself reaching for Tiger's phone, desperate to silence the doubts that she had in her mind, and what she discovered was nothing short of devastating. There was a series of explicit text messages between Tiger Woods and the club promoter, suggesting that the two were actually sneaking around. To confirm her suspicions even further, Aline texted Rachel from Tiger's phone, to which he replied in a devious way. After Aline called the number and immediately recognized Rachel's voice, everything unraveled fast. Now, this is where the story gets a little murky, as different outlets have different versions of what happened next. So let me break it down as clearly as possible. The most widely reported account goes like this. Ellen completely lost it. She woke up Tyler, who was heavily sedated from an Ambien he took earlier, and then confronted him with a golf club and went for him. Tiger, half asleep and panicking, stumbled out of the house, grabbed his keys, and tried to race out of the compound, only to clip a fire hydrant, lose control, and slam his Escalade straight into a neighbor's tree.
What happened? What's wrong?
I have my neighbor, he hit the tree, and we came out here just to see what was going on. I see him, and he's laying down.
By hit a tree, you mean it was an auto accident?
Yes, there was an auto accident, yes.
Okay. Is he outside or inside his car? Is he unconscious?
Yes.
Okay, are you able to tell if he's breathing?
No, I can't tell right now.
Okay. All right, we do have help on the way. What color is this car, too?
It's a black Escalade.
When police arrived, they found Aline standing over an unconscious Tiger Woods, with minor bruises on his face, a broken lip, and the rear window of the Escalade shattered. That last detail is where the two versions of the story split. Some believe Aline chased him to the car and smashed the rear glass with the golf club just as he was pulling away. Pretty much like this South Park episode portrayed.
Check it out. It's EA Sports Tiger Woods PGA Tour 11 for Xbox. Stop breaking window, Kenny.
The official police report, however, states that she broke the window to pull him out of the crash. Whatever one is the version you choose to believe, it's worth noting that Eileen Nordegren weighed nearly 50 pounds less than Tiger Woods. It doesn't matter which angle you choose to believe, but the fact that a global icon felt the need to escape his own home in the middle of the night, just 2 days after the news broke that he was having an affair, was problematic. To make it even worse, both Tiger and his wife refused to give any account of what actually happened before the crash, which wasn't necessarily illegal considering the case was being treated as a traffic accident, but still left police really frustrated. It's unusual that we have gotten a statement. This just delays us closer to the completion of the investigation. Be it as it may, this incident still raised some serious eyebrows, with people speculating that a fallout in regards to the scandal might have happened inside the house before Tiger made a run for his car. Rachel Yucatel, who had since lawyered up, wasn't going quietly. She hired Gloria Alfred, one of the most feared attorneys in the country, known for representing high-profile victims against powerful men and making their lives very difficult in the process. Together, they announced a press conference where Rachel would tell her side of the story in full. But in the very last minute, the press conference would be abruptly canceled, leading people to believe that Tiger paid an eye-watering $10 million for Rachel to shut up. And almost immediately, Rachel changed her story to the media, stating that it wouldn't make sense that the crash was related to the scandal, since it allegedly never happened. God forbid Tiger got into a car wreck because of this false report of him having an affair. Despite it being completely true, it still must have certainly caused some problems at home. If I was his wife, I probably would have killed him. While this looked like a cheap shot at saving face, it would later come to light that the golf superstar was indeed laying pipe with Rachel Yucatel. When the media tried to confirm the woman in question, she completely refused to make any more comments on the situation.
Hi, Rachel. Excuse me. Hi, I'm Terry Parker at Channel 25. We'll get out of your hair if you just would give us one comment about why you're in Palm Beach, and do you plan to see Mr. Woods? Are you going to see Tiger at all, Rachel?
She can't.
We're leaving.
She's not.
We're leaving.
I know. Would you like to say anything to me at all?
No, I wouldn't. Thank
Nothing?
you.
Have you the rumors are that you were with Tiger over the weekend here in Palm Beach. Is there anything to that?
Excuse me.
Where
Do you want
are
me
you
to drive?
putting that?
I'm sorry?
Here.
Can you get out of my
I'm
face
sorry,
if you
I'm
don't
leaving.
mind? Thank you.
However, they eventually got hold of a woman who claimed to be Rachel's friend, and she revealed the relationship between Tiger and the club hostess. The alleged romance stretched back to June, complete with trysts in New York, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Australia, as well as a slew of steamy text messages. Rachel told me, "I'm having an affair with Tiger Woods. We're in love." In the middle of this already embarrassing fiasco, the situation would take an even crazier turn as more stories from multiple women who were allegedly involved with the superstar started to emerge, alongside evidence of some explicit text messages and emails exchanged between Tiger and the women, which included messages like, "I need you. Then get your tight ass over here and visit me. I will wear you out soon. How soon? I got a new piercing. Really? Where?" As well as, "Do you have a boyfriend? I don't even have someone I am dating. No, you could be my boyfriend. Then I am. I wish. Quietly and secretively, we will always be together." It would later come to light that Tiger had an affair with 120 women throughout his 5 years of marriage. That's a pretty wild number considering that he was pretty good at hiding all of them, except Rachel's of course. As the saying goes, the chickens always come home to roost. And even his wife was still devastated as more of his escapades started coming to light. I feel stupid as more things were revealed. How could I have not known anything? Despite Tiger's reputation for keeping his personal life private, the situation was simply too huge to be swept under the rug. Coupled with the fact that the billion-dollar brands who had sponsored him for years now didn't want any form of association with the man. In a bid to contain the damage, Tiger held a press conference to apologize for his misconduct.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in. For many of you, especially my friends, my behavior has been a personal disappointment. To those of you who work for me, I have let you down personally and professionally. My behavior has caused considerable worry to my business partners.
This seemed like he was simply trying to save what was left of his sponsors, rather than being genuinely sorry for his actions. To make it even worse, it felt like he was trying to defend himself, claiming that he was entitled to his reckless behavior due to his superstardom.
I felt that I had worked hard my entire life and deserved to enjoy all the temptations around me. Thanks to money and fame, I didn't have to go far to find them.
In the wake of the scandal, Eileen filed for divorce and walked away with a staggering $110 million settlement, which is also included in a non-disclosure clause that prohibited the mother of two from appearing on TV to tell her story. In fact, when she managed to be on a written interview with People's Magazine, she claimed that some of what we believe about the story was completely false. There was never any violence inside or outside the home. The speculation that I would have used the golf club to hit him is truly ridiculous. Chances are she might be telling the truth, but with a 9-figure bag settlement, it might be best to take her side of the story with a heap of salt. Tiger, on the other hand, spent 45 days in an inpatient therapy clinic to get help for his sex addiction, after which he proceeded to take a 5-month hiatus from the game of golf before returning for the 2010 Masters. To his surprise, fans welcomed him with open arms and treated him with respect.
The people here over the years, I know they're extremely respectful, but today was just something that really touched my heart pretty good.
However, throughout the rest of the season, the man who dominated the game of golf was now a shadow of his former self, as he finished the year without a win. Over the next year, Tiger began to push himself even harder to the point where his body started to take a hit, which unfortunately led to his ranking plummet from number 1, which is a position he held for 683 weeks before now, all the way down to 58, but including the Players' Championship and the WGC Cadillac Championship. Unfortunately, his body began to fail again the next year. As a matter of fact, between 2014 and 2016, Tiger had to go through 3 major surgeries to fix his back. This constant need to be under the knife not only affected his physical well-being, but also his life in general. And to cope with the pain, Tiger developed a dependence that would eventually lead him into multiple run-ins with the law. In the early morning of May 29, 2017, the police spotted a Mercedes parked along the highway with its blinkers on. It also had a damaged front bumper and 2 flat tires. To their surprise, behind the wheel was the golf superstar, sleeping with the engine still running. With the look of things, it seemed like he had just survived a car crash, and they could tell he was a little bit out of it, so to confirm that he wasn't on any substances, they proceeded to perform a field test.
Okay, don't begin until I tell you to, okay? But when I tell you to, I want you to close your eyes and tilt your head backwards, okay? And you're gonna recite the entire English alphabet in a slow, non-rhythmic manner, meaning you're not gonna sing it, okay? Do you understand the instructions? Okay, what were the instructions?
Not to sing the national anthem backwards.
Not to sing the national anthem backwards? Okay.
Although he failed the test, when he was tested with a breathalyzer, his record came back with a 0% of alcohol. This was pretty confusing considering that the man was observably mentally impaired. So they arrested him on suspicion of driving under the influence and transported him to the Palm Beach County Jail. Tiger would later be arraigned in the county court on charges of DUI, where he would later be found guilty and given a $250 fine, as well as 12 months of probation and 50 hours of community service to go along with it. He would later release a statement to apologize and explain to his fans what really went down. I want the public to know that alcohol was not involved. What happened was an unexpected reaction to prescribed medications. I didn't realize the mix of medications had affected me so strongly. I would like to apologize with all my heart to my family, friends, and the fans. I will do everything in my power to ensure that this never happens again. By now, it became pretty obvious that the amount of medication he requires to improve his quality of life has a chance of making him unable to operate a vehicle. And as a billionaire, these problems could easily be avoided by simply getting a car service and being chauffeured like almost every individual in America with an above average income. Looking back at his previous scandals, particularly his many affairs, you would kind of understand how he was able to keep them under wraps for so long and why he wouldn't want a personal driver. Cause if there's a third party involved, like a driver, he's way more likely to get caught. This man had 120 affairs over the course of 5 years, and only managed to get nailed on 2 of them. Since getting a driver wasn't even in consideration for Tiger, he continued driving himself around, which eventually led to a near-fatal crash that threatened to end his career. In February 2021, barely 3 months after getting yet another surgery, Tiger was pushing over 80 miles per hour in an SUV on a winding road with a 40 mile per hour limit. Suddenly, he crossed the median and clipped a tree on the other side of the road, sending his SUV tumbling multiple times in a row. Surprisingly, when the cops arrived at the scene, they confirmed that Tiger showed no signs of impairment and that he was also wearing a seatbelt. In addition, they believe that Woods accidentally stepped on the accelerator when he meant to press the brake pedal, which is questionable for someone they claim to be clean. However, given the extent of the crash, it's pretty obvious that they had a bigger fish to fry, as Woods suffered severe injuries from the accident, which included significant damage to his right leg and ankle. It was so bad that his bone broke through his skin and needed an emergency surgery. In the wake of the incident, Woods was happy to be in one place. But to be able to get back in the game, Woods went under the knife for another series of surgical procedures. From that point to 2026, Woods has been through 5 more surgeries, including a post-crash maintenance in late 2021, subtalar fusion in 2023, spinal microdecompression in 2024, Achilles tendon repair in March 2025, and a lumbar disc replacement in October 2025, just 6 months before his latest crash. After going through all of this, there is no plausible reason why he still feels the need to be behind the wheel, because he obviously is depending on pain meds that has side effects which could lead to more problems if not managed properly. On top of that, many speculate that his dependence on the pain meds might have spiraled into a full-blown addiction.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not being hyperbolic, and I'm not being cruel when I say this. Tiger Woods is an addict. I have no evidence, no proof of this whatsoever, other than the incidences that he's been involved with. But damn it, based on that, I think it's safe to say Tiger Woods is an addict.
It's pretty understandable why anyone would think that he's an addict now, especially when his pain medications are basically opioids. However, there's no telling if Tiger is simply depending on the drugs to ease the pain, or to just satisfy his addiction at this point. Either way, given his recent crash, people believe it would be in the best interest of both Tiger Woods and the general public if he just stops driving himself, before he gets to a point of no return. As it stands, his comeback to golf is looking pretty bleak.
Stop getting behind the damn wheel of a car or a truck. Tiger Woods needs to stop, because if he keeps this up, he's going to kill somebody.
And the scary part is, those words weren't even after the 2026 crash. On March 27th of this year, shortly before 2 p.m., Woods was driving along a narrow 2-lane road in South Beach, just minute from his home in Jupiter Island, Florida. Suddenly, the 50-year-old spotted a pressure cleaning truck slowing down in front of him. In an effort to overtake the truck, Woods unfortunately clipped the trailer of the truck and flipped his USV, at least according to his account of the incident. He also added that he was distracted before even noticing the truck.
Can you tell me what happened real quick?
Yeah, I was looking down at my phone, doing a look at charging stations, and next thing you know, boom.
But when it comes down to it, this could have been avoided completely, considering that it happened on a residential road that wasn't designed for driving fast. And we'd later learn that he was driving at a high rate of speed on a road with a 30-mile-per-hour limit. And it gets even worse, cause when the cops arrived at the scene of the accident, the state they found the golfer in was a little disturbing. Turns out that though Tiger managed to get out of the car without injuries, he seemed pretty restless. When the cops tried to get him to calm down and sit in place, he made a comment that would make you wonder if there was something else going on.
Mr. Woods, get you to hang out down here with us, please.
All right, you got it. All right, thank you. Bye. Say again?
Just keep you down here with us, please.
Yeah, I was just talking to the president.
Blurting that he was on the phone with the president in a situation like this could be a signal to let the cops know that he has access to the powers that be and that he was not to be touched. Regardless, the cops felt like something was a little off with the man, so they went on to proceed a field test to confirm if he was driving under the influence or not.
When I tell you to begin, you're going to turn your top hand over and count out loud 1. Then turn your hand back over and count out loud 2. Count in only when your hands make contact, like this. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 1, 2.
So, 1 here,
so
2 here?
Yes, sir. Only when your hands make contact. So 1, 2, 1,
That's 1.
2. Yes, sir. Okay? You're going to repeat this, speed up as you go, and do not stop until told.
Okay.
Make sure you keep your hands and fingers parallel during each pat like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You understand?
And as you might expect, Tiger failed the field test, but still, the breathalyzer came back at 0%, so things got complicated fast. The field test alone wasn't conclusive, but his demeanor gave the officers enough reason to act. He was detained on suspicion of DUI from an unknown substance, and whatever he was on, the footage from the back of the cop car made it pretty obvious it was something. When they eventually got to the county jail, Tiger Woods would refuse to take a urine test, which was more than enough proof for the cops to come to a conclusion on the matter. He would be backed on charges of driving under the influence with property damage and refusal to comply with authority, which goes to show that the cops weren't cutting him any slack despite his status. In addition, the county sheriff made it clear to the media that Woods would be treated according to the law while ensuring his safety as a high-profile individual.
We know we arrested a high-profile figure. I'm not trying to dramatize, but it doesn't matter who you are. If you break the law, we're going to follow the law. That's a really easy path to take. Now, as far as being in the jail, we're going to make sure he's safe. We're not going to put him in general population. He's not going to be with other inmates that could hurt him or try to capitalize on what he did. He'll pay the price, but he's not going to pay the price by getting punished in jail.
Looking back, refusing to take the urine test was definitely a little sus, considering that anyone in their right mind would easily agree to the test if they believed they were indeed clean. However, he might have refused the test for another reason entirely. See, with athletes, having their urine collected basically means having all their biological secrets exposed. So imagine if he took his sample and found some special chemical compound that they don't have any knowledge about, his career might have been as good as over. Nevertheless, it would later come to light that Tiger Woods was on a cocktail of pain medications, most of which were of course opioids. So if he had taken the urine test, there's a high chance that he would have failed badly. Tiger would later plead not guilty to all the charges and release a statement declaring his indefinite break from golf. I know and understand the seriousness of the situation I find myself in today. I am stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health. I appreciate your understanding and support, and ask for privacy for my family, loved ones, and myself at the time. As devastating as this announcement might seem, some diehard fans still showed their solidarity with hopes that he would eventually make a comeback as he's done before, while the rest expressed their disappointment watching their GOAT make the same mistakes over and over again. And honestly, that tension says everything about Tiger Woods, because this isn't just a story about crashes and scandals. It's about a man who was given more talent, more money, and more second chances than anyone in sporting history, yet still couldn't get out of his own way. The lesson here isn't that greatness protects you, it's that greatness can actually blind you, whether that be to consequences, to accountability, or to the people around you who are paying the price for your choices. As of now, Tiger Woods has not confirmed whether he intends to return to professional golf. He remains in treatment, and no official timeline for a comeback has been given. Whether he makes it back to the course or not, one thing is clear. The greatest golfer who has ever lived is in the fight for his life, and this time it has nothing to do with golf itself.